So I wanted to make a video about this certain video game. We all know what it is, Silent Hill, the franchise. And straight away, the proof is right in your face. It's right in your face. So we all knew this was going to happen sooner or later. We all knew it was that there was eventually going to be a woke, agenda-filled Silent Hill game. So yes, I actually own this game, I played it, and yes, it is a feminist game. By the title, you can see it is full of feminism. That's all they can promote in these games now. I mean, it was very obvious that we were going to get a woke Silent Hill game after the Silent Hill short message, because they said in the Silent Hill short message that they were going to start making Silent Hill games for the modern audience. When they say that, that's always a red flag that it's going to be woke. So if you ever see a video game say, oh, we're going to be catering to the modern audience, so, the game's going to be woke. So the F obviously should stand for feminism. Silent Hill F is, if you've not heard, basically it's set in Japan, and basically a repressed woman, that's what they say. Interview took place between Silent Hill F fans who the game's producer describes as a repressed young woman, before detailing how this forms the game's narrative basis. So straight away from that, there's no defending it and saying that this isn't a basically feminist game. There's no saying it isn't, because one of the devs themselves says it. Well, I don't know if it's a dev, it's someone that works on the game. Basically the producer. So they even admit that this was the intent of the story, this is the intent of the agenda to push. They admit it, there's no defending it. Before detailing the focus that we place on the story, and for, not going to try to pronounce that name, is how she musters the courage to combat the repression. It's just stupid, man. It really is. It really is. This is all they can make video games about. It's beyond a joke. The games are not what they used to be. That's the fact. You can't make the games that were in the 90s and stuff like that anymore, because these crybabies, these little crybabies that cry that everything's offensive. So this is what they make now. These just woke garbage, basically, story. Now, from what I played of this game, the combat is fun. It's a unique game, but it doesn't change the fact that the game is woke. There's a lot of games that I played that are woke. One of them, Spider-Man 2, woke. Yeah, the gameplay is fun, but it does not change the fact that the game is woke. There's many games that I've liked that have been woke. Doesn't change the fact that it's woke. But it doesn't, and the whole game of this, as soon as you start the game, basically promotes the father, the wife as like toxic, aggressive, a bad person. Basically it's completely just an attack on marriage, this whole entire game, and an attack on men. That's all it really is, because that's all these feminists can do. That's all they can do. Feminism is one of the most stupidest movements that I've ever seen in my life. They just can't handle reality. They really can't. Saying that all men are toxic and all that, which is laughable, because again, men are meant to be dominant. Get that? That's just the fact. But these are the things, if you look it up online, there ain't no defending it. It says it right here. Arc in the Silent Hill is shaped by the Japanese women's rights movement. So there you go. It's a woke game from that alone, and depicts how she musters the courage to combat repression she encounters. This is a source of many of her into. So you could basically say the entire game. Anyone that's played it, you probably haven't played it because it's not been out that long. Probably about less than a week. So it's been out a couple of days. It came out, I think, the 26th. So yeah, it's not been that many days. That's 26 was basically for the worldwide release. The early access, I think, was on the 23rd or something. But it's a woke game. So a bunch of feminists worked on this game. Doesn't really shock me. It really doesn't, because this is what I said. The industry is full of a bunch of wokies. We've all seen what they're like and who they really are. Everyone, they've showed the true colours recently, but anyone that's played the game will just show it. Silent Hill Earth, because you probably won't know what I'm on about unless you played the game. You could basically say that the whole game is basically these flowers. Now, if you know anything about womanhood, women, flower is always referred to womanhood or a woman growing. That's what it's always referred to, even in ancient religion and all that. A flower is referred to as a woman becoming a woman, or basically a girl becoming a woman. So you could basically say the whole entire game you're being chased by these like flower lily things, whatever they are. It's a certain Japanese flower or plant, whatever. So you could basically say the whole game she's running away from womanhood, because the whole entire game promotes that marriage is a bad thing, that all women are just slaves to marriage, they're just slaves, which is the biggest lie ever. It's the biggest load of crap that I've ever heard, as you see. But Silent Hill F does switch story up a bit by turning back the clock. The reason why we arrived in at the 1960s is because this is an era that represents male female repression in Japanese society. Says the 1960s were a time when this type of was prevalent, but it's also one of the hallmark eras in Japanese history. Now, let's be realistic now. Let's be realistic. Hollywood and women act like that they are like in a prison, or they're locked away in a room for the rest of their life and they're fed little scraps of food. That's not realistic. It's the biggest lie ever. If you go back to the 60s, whatever, women were not a slave. They were not oppressed. This is just a fact. They were living luxury. They were happy. The husband was at work and the wife was doing whatever they want. That's the natural order. But again, these feminists and these little SJWs, they're like, oh, that's a bad thing. No, it isn't. That's the way it's meant to be. That was the way it was meant to be since the beginning of creation. Women were meant to be the wife. Men were meant to be the provider. They were meant to go out and work and provide for the wife and the kids. But oh no, in society now, that's seen as a bad thing. Oh, a woman is free to do whatever she wants at home. She's not a slave. She can easily go out the house anytime they want. But this is what they want to promote. It's the main stupid argument of all feminists. They act like they're oppressed, that they're locked in a prison or something. It's the biggest load of crap that I've ever heard. It really is. Because one, men are supposed to be above women. It's not sexist. It's not misogynist or whatever you want to label it as. It's just the way it was meant to be. Men are meant to be dominant. It's not toxic masculinity. Men are the dominant sex, and it's as simple as that. Men are not equal to women. I don't care what anyone says. That's just what the Bible says, and that's just what science teaches. If we were equal, we would have the same skeletal body parts. We would have the same brain size. Again, even the Bible teaches that men are above women. But again, the society just wants to see that as sexism, all that, and stuff like that. No, it isn't. They promote marriage as a bad thing in the entire game. Basically, she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be a wife like my mother." So again, the promoting that marriage is basically slavery. No, it isn't. We're not in places like, and again, even people like that, they see that as a bad thing. India, basically arranged marriages. That's just the way they are. That's their culture. But they see marriage as a bad thing. That's what they want to push here, which isn't a surprise because a bunch of feminists wrote this game, which isn't a shock. It kind of explains why they weren't promoting this game as much as the Silent Hill 2 remake, because the same people didn't work on this. They're basically just a bunch of woke feminists worked on this game, and it's very obvious to tell that half of the enemies are laughably a joke. She has a dodge basically ability where you don't even have to fight the enemy. You can just literally zoom past them with a dodge. It's like you're playing Elden Ring or something. It really is, but this is the nonsense that they want to teach in society, that men are toxic or they're oppressing women. It's just stupid crap. It really is. And again, it's established straight away that I think it's Hinako doesn't want to conform to what society views as her role. So again, just a rebellious, literally you could say just a rebellious Jezebel. That's what the Bible describes women like this. Basically, oh, I don't want to be a what? As you see the agenda they're pushing here, they're basically like, oh, being a wife is oppression. No, it isn't. It's the biggest load of garbage. It really isn't. And I just want to make sure something. The other sounds working. Sounds working and everything. Just wanted to check, make sure. So let's continue. And I'll read comments at the end. Society views as her role as a wife or daughter. Unlike her older sister, it doesn't seem like she has much interest in marrying. So again, you can see the whole agenda that's going on here. Marriage is a bad thing, that marriage is slavery. I mean, what a joke, man. Yeah, I'm sure all women that are married in America and other places of the world are in slavery. Sure they are. I'm sure that women that marry men that are multi-millionaires, yeah, I'm sure they're living in slavery. No love left for her abusive father. Now, again, this is what they want to promote, that the father's abusive. Yes, the father is kind of abusive, but there's an agenda here. They want to promote that all men are like this, like, oh, men are abusive, they're beating their wives or stuff like that. Get real. Who seems to either ignore or yell at her depending on his mood. Again, promoting them. It's an agenda here. You got to remember this is written by feminists. It's not written by men. It's written by all women. So they've got an agenda here that all men are toxic, they're beating their wives and stuff like that. No, they're not. It's just the agenda that they want to push. Because again, there's an agenda by the occult of explaining this and by the higher ups, and they literally admitted it that they wanted to destroy family values and they wanted to destroy people getting married. That's what they wanted to do. This is how they do it through feminism, wokeism. You have women that don't want to get married anymore. They just want to go around, sleep around with a bunch of men. That's really what the feminists want to promote. Because let's be realistic, these feminists are the same people that support abortion. That's just a fact. These are the same people. So that's why I just laugh at them. They're full of crap. That's what they are. They just want to act like, oh, marriage is just slavery. Marriage is slavery. And then even this complete garbage. Women get treated no different than animals. This is the biggest load of nonsense that I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I'm sure women get treated like animals. Get realistic. This is this this ain't slavery. Women were not treated like animals. They're not in a cage. So get real. This is the whole agenda that they want to promote here. They want to promote that basically women are slaves. You are a woman. Act like one. I've said it time and time again. We don't have a choice. It's our woman. It's a woman's role in society. So they're basically saying you don't have a choice. Yes, you do have a choice. You choose to get married to someone or not. They're basically acting like you are forced into marriage. This is not places like India. Japan was not like India or other countries of the world where they have arranged marriages. Get realistic now. You choose who you marry. Same with America. A woman has a right who they marry. In ancient civilization, they didn't have a choice. That's the way it was. And let's be realistic, it was not like that back then. Get realistic. As far as I know, there was no arranged marriages in Japan. So it's just nonsense. They're acting like they're forced to get married. So basically, it's a complete attack on men. That's all this game is, a feminist woke game. It explains why all the reviewers gave this 10 out of 10, and it kind of explains why there's so many women streamers that I've been recommended playing this game. Kind of makes sense now because it's a feminist game. Let's hate on men game more like. You ungrateful brat, how dare you take this attitude? You know nothing of a parent's struggle. You are a failure. So basically promoting basically a man as the bad guy because he wants his daughter to grow up right and not be a rebellious child and a rebellious woman. Again, but again, we all know this. Everything that was set forth, like the stuff, doesn't matter whether you believe in the Bible or not. You can believe in it what or not, whatever, could care less. But that's the way it was. That a man was to provide, and the woman was to stay at home, look after the kids and stuff like that. They want to see that as a bad thing. They want to see like all the woman's locked in the house 24 hours a day. The husband comes home, and the woman's in a cage or something. And then when he comes home, he unlocks the cage and starts feeding the wife. Get realistic. They want to act like that. It was that. It wasn't. Yes, there is some men out there, I'm not going to deny it, I'm not one of them, that will literally beat their wife for no reason at all. That they want to act like all men are like that. Get realistic. Now, obviously, if you're beating your wife or someone's beating the wife up for no reason at all, obviously, I'm not going to support that. It is disgusting. Because obviously, and I want to make that very clear anyway, I don't support all basically that stuff. And then you have this. I've had to crop most of the image out because it's very graphic, even though it's a video game. But I don't want. So basically, if you don't know the story, she marries the fox guy, and she basically cuts her arm off. Takes his arm. That's the story. And then basically it's promoted as like, oh, look. And even the story, she kills her own friends and the believe she kills her own parents. So basically, she's going to do anything not to get married. That's really the whole point of it. And the end game boss is basically a wedding dress. And she says, you took everything from me. Yeah, pretty obvious what agenda's going on here. I don't want to be like my mother, so she doesn't want to be a submissive wife, and she doesn't want to be a wife. Now, what obviously where he was beating his wife up, obviously, I don't support that. Obvious. But they want to act like that's what marriage is. It isn't. Let's be realistic now. Who's the one always wanting a divorce? Most of the time, it's mostly the wife, because again, they argue with the husband, which every couple does. But it's just laughable, man. This is the entire game, just pushing a feminist agenda. That's all it is. The whole entire game. Female repression in Japanese society. I mean, it's just so dumb. It really is. So the whole game, you have, like I said, flowers. It makes sense now why the whole entire game, you have flowers chasing you. Basically, womanhood. She's running away from womanhood. Because again, basically, in like I said, ancient religion, flower is described as like a period or stuff like that. That's what it's described as. So the flower blossoming and growing is described as a woman growing up and blooming into a woman. So it makes sense now why they chose flowers. So the whole entire game, and it's basically showing that anyone that gets attacked by these flower-like things turns into like these creature demon things. So basically, they're saying that womanhood, that's what it's going to turn you into. That becoming a wife or a woman, that's what it's going to turn you into. It's very obvious to see what agenda's going on here. Why else would they have picked flowers? May not be that, but probably is. but it doesn't really surprise me. The whole flowers, as I said, there's no defending it. This is a feminist game. We'll show the you have this it's obviously there it is the wedding dress. She's like, you took everything from me. You took everything from me. Blah blah blah, and all that. So basically, the final boss is just the wedding dress. How laughable is this? This is as funny as anything. So basically, the final boss is basically, well, I believe the final boss is actually I don't know because I ain't seen the end of the game yet, but it's one of the enemies in the game is a wedding dress that should show everything that you need to know. There's even a note in the game that says that she doesn't want to be married, that she doesn't want to be like a mother, she wants to be free, she doesn't want to be a slave. It's just the agenda, that's all it is. It's the agenda to promote that basically marriage is slavery. That's all it is. That's all this is. Now we know in Japan the birth rate is not that high. It's not that high at all. This is only going to make it lower. It's only going to make it lower. But that's what they want, though. They want women doing sleeping around with multiple men, doing a one night stand, never getting married. That's what they want because it keeps the population down. That's what they want. They want to corrupt and see everything, all the family values and that. It's bad. It's all this world does now. And these wokies, and I mean, it kind of makes sense why this wasn't a PlayStation exclusive now. Because, I mean, then again, even if it was, it still would have been woke. I mean, we got that game coming out soon, Ghost of Yote, and that's just another feminist game. That's all it is. I mean, the whole creator is basically a part of a certain group that has now been seen by the government as a terrorist group. So it doesn't really surprise me. But yes, this entire game is just about pushing a feminist agenda. As you see the fox's wedding. So basically, he says to her, marry me. So it's very obvious they're saying that marriage is evil and that marriage is bondage and slavery. That's the whole point. So a feminist wrote this game and most likely wants to promote garbage, basically abusive relationship, probably whatever. She's married. Oh, she didn't. Oh, this young girl that's a school girl. This is basically, oh, this is what's going to happen if you get married. This is what's going to happen in real world if you get married. It's going to be toxic. You're going to be in slavery. It's going to be bondage. You're going to not be free. You're just an object. That is not realistic. But that's what all these feminists want to promote. Because a lot of the feminists are Jezebels. That's what they are. And the feminist movement is just so hypocritical. Anyway, they say they're oppressed by men, yet then they start oppressing men. They wanna. The whole purpose of the feminist movement is we hate men. That's really what it is. So in reality, the hypocrites. They're like, oh, we don't want to associate with men. Cool, nobody cares. Literally, nobody cares. If you hate men, good for you. If you hate women, good for you. Nobody cares. But that's what they want to promote. that, oh, you should hate all men because all men are toxic. And you always see it with a lot of women, like, oh, typical men. What about women? It's funny how they never bring that one up, is it? Oh, women are, there's toxic women in relationships, there's toxic women out there that just use men. Oh, but that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. These feminists all just make an excuse of like, oh, the men deserve it. The men deserve it. They're hypocrites, and if you knew anything, the feminist movement was a Illuminati group created by a bunch of morons. That's what it was. We'll show you right now. My hand's kind of gone numb, so I have to do it with one hand. It's actually kind of hard to do it with one hand. I'm not gonna lie. We see it right there. It's right there. So again, if you're a feminist, you just fell into the trap of the elite because it was created by the occult. Basically, that one of the most stupid movements I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely laughable. So all these feminists and that, you're just literally part of a group that was funded, created by the the government. That's all it was. So once again, man created this movement. So again, it wasn't. It was the game cards right there, and if you can hear that noise outside, it's a dog. There's nothing I can do about it. But the cards right there, to proving that feminism is nothing but another Illuminati agenda, to which I knew anyway because known free. You can just go look it up. A known Freemason admitted his plans that he wanted to destroy family values and families by promoting things like, why do you think things like one night stand, condoms, and birth rate pills and all that exist? They don't want you starting a family. They want to keep the population down. They don't want you doing what God wanted. There's an agenda. So I know it's from Satan. There's no defending it. And it's completely gone numb. Wait a bit. So yeah, there's no defending it because we all know it's wokies. So yeah, and we'll end it off with this. There's like, again, you feminists as well, like I said, you can't handle the basic law, the natural law of the way it was done. Let the woman learn in silence. This is how it's supposed to be. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to observe authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. Man is above a woman, and Adam was not deceived. Eve was deceived. Eve convinced Adam to eat the apple. Wasn't Adam that was deceived, it was the woman that was deceived. You can label people sexist, whatever, label the Bible sexist, which is always funny because if you're a woman and you read in the Bible and then you claim that it's sexist, then just stop reading it then. Because you're not going to change what God's opinion, and you're not going to change the natural order. God will tell you the same exact thing. Men are above women, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is. That was the way it was meant to be. Men are dominant for a reason. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So, as you can see, this was the natural order. This is exactly what these feminists hate. They hate the Bible, they hate the natural order of the way it was, because a lot of them are devil worshippers. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Again, a lot of women think that the princesses, they think that the queens, well, guess what? This is exactly what God has to say about that. And favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, basically vanity, means nothing. In the eyes of God, what you're going to do, these women that love themselves and think that the queens and princesses and call themselves Barbie dolls, what you going to do? You're going to try and seduce God, are you? Well, it ain't going to work. You're not going to be able to seduce anyone with your looks. It's not going to get you into the kingdom of heaven. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So again, this is how a woman is supposed to be. Not a rebellious woman like, oh, look at me, I'm a Jezebel. I hate the natural order of the way it was supposed to be because I'm a little Jezebel. Or even more, you Jezebels hate this Bible, don't you? And anyone that's a woman that's offended by this, that claims to be a Christian, if you're offended by this, then guess what? This is just the way the Bible is. This is the way that God is. God ain't gonna change for you. And as it says, blessed is he that is not offended for my name's sake. If you're offended by any of this and you're a Christian woman, well, let me tell you something. You're most likely not, because again, you can't pick and choose what you want to abide by in the Bible. It don't work that way. You either accept all of it, you don't accept certain parts of the Bible. That's not the way it works now. Let your woman keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also say the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. This means preaching, which again, America continuously breaks this commandment and breaks this on a daily basis. Women are not meant to be preachers, men are. So again, you can label me sexist, whatever, because I don't care about people's opinions on here. I'm not here to please people. I'm reading the Bible. If you don't like it, click off the video and go watch some show. It's that simple. For she openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. For ye are all the children of God by faith in Christ Jesus. The aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. Again, this is just the way it was meant to be. That they may teach the young women to be sober. Now, what do we have? We have celebrity women twerking and teaching young women that it's okay to do those things. It's okay to basically sell yourself. It's okay to run an OnlyFans. It's okay to be rebellious. It's okay to be a harlot. That's what the industry teaches onto the younger generation. That it's okay to be a basically promote yourself as like a prostitute, because that's what OnlyFans is, prostitution. And why there isn't a law, there should be a law that you should literally get a fine for running OnlyFans. I couldn't care less, because it is no different than prostitution. Why it's not seen as that, I don't know. Because it's the same thing as a prostitute. You're selling yourself for money. That's exactly what an OnlyFans is. You're selling your body for money, which is a form of prostitution. So, yes, that's why you gotta laugh at the feminists as well. Because these feminists, they're like, oh, we want to be able to do whatever we want. Here we are. Here we go. Them running an OnlyFans. Yeah. You fought for women's rights so you can pimp yourself out on an OnlyFans account. Yeah. Just laughable. To love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. Exactly, because again, this is why men are supposed to be preachers and teachers, because women are emotional. They go off their emotions. Be like, and this is offensive. Men don't do that. Only the soft men do that. But again, these wokies and these feminists, they hate the Bible. We all know why, because it completely teaches the natural order of things. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. Also, women shouldn't be dressing like a prostitute either, with stuff like mini skirts and stuff like that. You literally might as well just be a prostitute, because some of the clothing that women wear today is some of the most revealing, sexualized clothing that I've ever seen in my life. And then they're like, "Oh, men are just perverts. Men are perverts." Yet they go out and wear so revealing clothing, and then call a man a pervert or whatever. Then don't wear the damn clothing. Then it's a natural way for a man to be attracted to a woman. It's the natural order. But again, the feminists want to promote that. It's, oh, it's perverted. You're just a pervert. No, that's just the way it was supposed to be. Men are attracted to women for a reason. That was the way it was created since the beginning of creation. But if you're wearing revealing clothing, which is funny, I've seen a lot of feminists. They're a feminist, yet they wear sexualized clothing, or they'll run an OnlyFans. Most laughable thing I've ever seen. That's why I said feminism is one of the most laughable movements that I've ever seen in my life. It's built on a load of garbage, and it's all of them are full of crap. They really are. She is more it is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. She is more precious than rubies and all. It's funny how the feminists never read this Bible verse. This is talking about a woman, basically a woman that is not rebellious, and a woman that is a woman of God is more precious than rubies, and all things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoureth her head, for that is even all. And again, if you can head outside, it's fireworks. It's not even November yet. What a bunch of morons. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. Who can find a victorious woman? For her price is far above rubies. It's funny again, the feminists don't read these certain Bible verses, do they? But again, you can go look at the Bible more. There's many Bible verses about men saying that men are meant to be dominant. That's just the way it is. You can keep saying that's toxic masculinity, whatever, but that's just the natural order. Men are meant to be the dominant sex. They're meant to be. That was just the way it was meant to be. So you can sit there, keep crying, and saying it's toxic masculinity, blah blah blah, when in reality you just can't handle reality. That was the way it was meant to be. Men are dominant for a reason, and that's the way it was meant to be. There is no such thing as an alpha female. You have them promoting that now, which is the most laughable thing I've ever heard in my life. Alpha female. I mean, get realistic. There's no such thing as that. It doesn't exist. I mean, then again, there's no such thing as an alpha male either. It's this narcissism, but you just gotta laugh at alpha female. Yeah, who's the alpha in the wolf pack? It's always the man. It's just laughable. It really is. The amount of garbage that they want to promote. And it's always funny that with feminists as well. They say men and women, they say basically when they're like, oh, when they say, oh, men shouldn't hit women and all that. Yeah, I thought men and women were equal. So your argument, women, you feminist women, why shouldn't a man hit a woman back? I thought we were equal. Now, I don't condone hitting a woman for no reason at all, obviously. I wanted to make that very clear, but I'm just using an argument. This is what they say, that men shouldn't hit women. Yet, I thought men and women were equal. If we're equal, we're both the same. This is what I said. They're all full of it. They, they're full of it. They're full of crap. And they know it's the truth, but they just want to spew this garbage movement created by the occult because they're just a bunch of idiots. We're not equal. It's as simple as that. Men are above women, and that's that. You can call me sexist, call me whatever, misogynist, whatever, which is laughable because I don't hate women. That's all these feminists and these wokies can say. Oh, you just hate women. I don't hate women. It's just laughable. That's all they can label. Just throw names at people. Oh, you're just a misogynist. You just hate women. You're an incel. It's just laughable. That's all they can do. Name people names because they can't actually win an argument. They know it's the truth and it's the natural way it's supposed to be. So yeah, just wanting to expose this video game for what it really is. If you if you played it yourself, and if you don't believe me, just go play it yourself, honestly, or just go watch a playthrough, and you'll see exactly what this game is about. Because there's no defending it. It's a feminist game. The whole game and the story is about you being a feminist and you hating marriage and you basically hating men. They might as well just have not put it as a Japanese girl, just put it as a white woman complaining about everything. Um, Dye their hair pink, at this point, because we all know that it's just a feminist game. It's very obvious. So they purposely made this game about feminism. Tell me, what does feminism have to do with Silent Hill? Absolutely nothing. So no wonder we get the shows giving this game a 10 out of 10. Well, this game's a masterpiece. Yeah, there's not a single Silent Hill game that is a feminist game. Silent Hill 2 Remake was about killing your wife. He killed his wife. And again, it's literally, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.